Meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the peace and prosperity of the whole humanity. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stavakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stavakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna-The Namaha. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last classes, we have discussed about Sri Ramakrishna, the fusion between humanity and spirituality, divinity. Well, the incarnations come with specific mission in life. They come with the sole purpose of removing suffering from the people. People do suffer on account of various reasons. Because they are so much externalized, so much depending upon the world, and in a way they become deeply attached to their possessions and to the world. So as long as we are in the world, we are bound to suffer. But there's a way to get rid of it. The way is spiritual path. It's only through spiritual ways one can be freed from all the sufferings, and one can really experience joy, immense joy. Then this world is no more a nightmare. This world itself will be like heaven to the one who takes to spiritual ways. So, the whole approach is to be properly fixed. Once that is done, then everything goes very smoothly. In order to show the spiritual path, the Supreme Brahman manifests himself in human form out of infinite compassion towards the creation, and he tries to help the people all over the world. They come to help the whole humanity. And that is the purpose of the unique incarnation. Many incarnations have come in the past. Sri Ramachandra, Sri Krishna, Lord Buddha, Jesus Christ. They all have come. They all have done their best to remove the sufferings from the people. But with respect to Sri Ramakrishna, there is some uniqueness, and that is Sri Ramakrishna's experimentation with all the faiths extant in the domain of religion marks him out as a unique prophet of world dimension. No wonder Swami Vivekananda defined him as an avatara varishta, the most excellent of all the prophets. Where that excellence lies? In Sri Ramakrishna you find all the religions merging themselves. He is attracting all the religions of the world into himself, giving authenticity to all the paths, giving validity to all the religions of the world. And that mission has been fulfilled by Sri Ramakrishna. And the idea is Sri Ramakrishna wanted to encourage people in spirituality. Whatever path, whatever faith you may have, please go ahead with steadfastness. You will certainly reach goal. You will certainly experience God, the absolute Brahman. Then you will be experiencing real happiness, and there won't be suffering at all afterwards. So, until you turn Godward, until you turn yourself in a spiritual way, you cannot get rid of suffering. In some form or other, suffering will be coming, and you will be constantly under some sort of unpleasantness, pricks and worries and all sorts of things. So, we have to understand Sri Ramakrishna in this perspective. Sri Ramchandra had come as an incarnation and he led the people to live the path of truthfulness. Lord Krishna came, he led the people to follow the path of performing selfless work, to conduct oneself properly, one's own duties, which purify the heart. You have come to this world, you can't be idle, you have to work. Work is a boon, I should say. Without work, man would become mad. Work is essential, but how you perform the work, that's important. That's important. So, here Sri Ramakrishna comes in and directs you in a proper way. Well, you have to work, no doubt, but work in a selfless way. How to conduct oneself such ways? It is through seeing God in everyone. That is, God is present, and it is an opportunity for me to serve God in different forms. That way, you become humble, you become pure, then you will enjoy the happiness resulting from selfless service. It is to his eternal glory and to the glory of India that Sri Ramakrishna experimented with every aspect of the Hindu faith, starting from image worship to identity with the absolute Brahman. And if he had stopped at that, he would not have been the unique prophet that he is today. Impelled by a universal heart and a scientific spirit, Sri Ramakrishna began experimenting with faiths alien to his own faith. He never took any theory just on trust, nor did he cynically dismiss it as mere nothing. His conformity to traditional modes was very faithful. And whenever he took a discipline, he was an orthodox follower of it. When experimenting with faiths alien to Hinduism, he thoroughly acquainted himself with them. With him, correspondence between thought and action was absolute and perfect. If he has to practice Islam, he would be a true Islamic aspirant. If he has to practice Christianity, he wants to be a true Christian. And accordingly, he would pursue the path. That was the way he did. With his usual zeal and earnestness, Sri Ramakrishna took on the Islamic sadhana. He got himself initiated into the mysteries of the Islamic way of spiritual practice. His soul was aflame with one thought, Allah. And his entire being was restless to realize God through that faith. He realized the goal of that form of devotion. When he had the vision of a radiant person with a long beard and of grave appearance, Sri Ramakrishna was in ecstatic joy. His mind passing through the realization of Brahman with attributes finally roared into the region of Brahman without attributes. And thus he validated, he authenticated. He said, well, Islamic faith is also one of the ways to reach God. Absolutely there is no conflict there. Why should people unnecessarily fight and quarrel among themselves? It is really very nasty. You follow according to what faith you want, that's all, that's the end of it. Why do you want politics in religion? Once the politics enters, there is no more religion. It is worse than the worldly people's ways. And Sri Ramakrishna did not rest at this. After some years, he sought the experience of the truth through the Christian faith. The Catholicity of his outlook and the rational approach to matters of supra-sensual perception urged him to experiment with yet another alien faith. In all his experiments, his main instruments were his divine inspiration and outright pouring out of his all-absorbing love for the ideal. In minutest details, Sri Ramakrishna observed all the disciplines appropriate to the Christian faith. And amazingly, on the fourth day of his Christian sadhana, he was crowned with success. Any spiritual practice Sri Ramakrishna would take, he would get realization in 3 days. Because his heart was so pure, perfect. So naturally, whatever he concentrated upon, he would get into it immediately. He was walking in the Panchavati, the famous place in Dakshineshwar in Calcutta, where he did sadhana, where he realized Divine Mother Kali. In fact, that place is holiest of the holy places. Swami Chidananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, tells that that is the Benares of India. When he was walking in that Panchavati, his mind absorbed and engrossed in the thought of Christ. His whole mind was thinking of Christ and Christ alone. Suddenly he saw an extraordinary looking person of serene aspect approaching him with his gaze intently fixed on him. He knew him at once to be a man of foreign extraction. And Sri Ramakrishna describes his form. Lord Christ, he had beautiful large eyes. Sri Ramakrishna was charmed and wondered at his shining face. His heart whispered that the strange personality before him was none other than Jesus Christ, the master yogin, the embodiment of love, who gave out his heart's blood for the redemption of mankind. The Son of Mary embraced the child of the Divine Mother. Sri Ramakrishna lost outward consciousness in deep samadhi, realizing his union with Brahman with attributes. So we find through these sadhanas, Sri Ramakrishna is thus the first prophet to have traversed all the provinces of the religious empire. To his great exaltation, he found the Vedas, he found the Bible, and he found the Quran. They were all tuned to one song, song of an eternal truth, to the melody of one universal God. He became a federation of all faiths, of all beliefs. Sri Ramakrishna became an ocean of spirituality into which flowed all rivers of religion, forming the grandest yet spiritual symphony. He is a living demonstration of the harmony of all ideals and philosophy, of all faiths and beliefs. Sri Ramakrishna's life is a portrayal of the concept of a universal religion becoming a practical reality. He did not preach that all faiths are the same, but that all faiths, when sincerely followed, lead to the same goal. So, Sri Ramakrishna became a prophet par excellence, endowed with Vishwa Manas, that is, truly cosmic mind. He became not only Sarva Dharma Samanvayacharya, prophet of harmony of all religious faiths, but also a Sarva Mata Samatvavadin, propagator of the symphony of all diverse philosophical schools and theories. Establishing himself on the unassailable ground of realization, Sri Ramakrishna preached the doctrine of harmony of various faiths and sects and opinions. If you read Gospel, you find it abounds with his teachings to this effect. Spurred by the spontaneity of the supreme divine will, Sri Ramakrishna embraced all humanity, blessed every soul, and wrapped every one in the tender hug of his motherly concern and affection. He lends light to brighten the path of every spiritual aspirant, irrespective of his faith or creed, correcting the flaws in his conduct, setting right all misconceptions, and redeeming souls by gentle admonitions and wise saying and unique parables. The Gospel is full of these interesting similes, analogies, anecdotes, stories, teaching the great spiritual ideal. If you read Gospel, you find spirituality is not at all difficult. It appears difficult because we are not sincere. Because our mind is full of unfulfilled desires, which can never be fulfilled. Desires and desires keep multiplying, thereby multiplying sufferings. Desires only multiply sufferings. Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual ministration as a prophet was also unique. He had become a paragon of spiritual majesty, scanning the farthest reach of religious domain of all climes and ages. Sri Ramakrishna was such a blend of so many graces and excellences that his influence on those who came in contact with him was irresistible. The prophethood of Sri Ramakrishna became a mighty powerhouse of abundant charm and fascination. His love and all-embracing spirituality captivated and held spellbound not only the finest intellects of the academic world and fiery reformers, but also the many widely differing pilgrims on the high road to the supreme goal of God realization. The indefinable mystic light that incessantly radiated through his words of consolation and guidance engulfed all who went to him. The sublime joyfulness of his countenance and the ethereal smile radiated peace and purity all round, pouring the nectar of love and bliss to many a bereaved soul. Redemption of humanity, that is Loka Kalyan. That's the meaning of serving humanity. Tremendous concept. Serve. And this idea has been spread over all over the world by Swami Vivekananda. That is the sole mission of Sri Ramakrishna. That shows how God Supreme is impartial and how He is concerned about uplifting the suffering humanity. They come not simply to uplift the people of His own country where He was born, but of all the people all over the world. This they do by adapting themselves to persons and places. While the humble and innocent receive the warmest corner in his heart, the crafty pandit and arrogant sophist miss the warmth of this concern and love. They do not benefit at all by his warmth. There will be always some arrogant people, some dry pandits. They are there. They will be there. The prophets teach more by example than by precept. By living a life than by prattling. Like an ideal teacher, a prophet with his infinite compassion, what does he do? He descends to the level of his scholars, understands their need, and gauges their capacity to absorb and fills their hearts and souls from his bounteous stock of love and knowledge. To Sri Ramakrishna came persons both rich and poor, persons in various stages of spiritual progress flocked to him at all times. Sri Ramakrishna was always available. 24 hours available for helping, for uplifting the spiritual aspirants. So we find His dwelling place was always full of people of different stages. Everyone was practicing spirituality. Everyone's level is different. But Sri Ramakrishna, the master of spirituality, he could give solution to each and every one. And if you read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you find number of teachings. And you can select the teachings which you want, which you feel very simple and easy to follow. Take them up and practice it. Start practicing it. Never wait for the time. Never wait. That if you wait for the time, that time will not come at all. So, in matters of spirituality, there is no question of waiting. There is no question of procrastination. No question of postponement. It must be taken up immediately and intensely, with all earnestness. Then only it would be possible to fight all the bad samskaras locked up in the mind. It takes long time to chisel out this stumbling rocks of impurities in the mind. But we have to make an effort. Without effort, you won't recognize the grace of God. So, Sri Ramakrishna in his gospel repeatedly has said, cherish that love in the heart. Treat everyone with a loving heart. With that spiritual attitude, even if you do your job in the office, that becomes worship. Whatever you do becomes worship. So, let us try to understand what Sri Ramakrishna has said. Coming to Sri Ramakrishna, reading his gospel, following his instructions, you are thoroughly safe in your spiritual path, and you are sure to reach the goal, that is realization of God. Sri Ramakrishna himself has said God can be seen. And you are following Sri Ramakrishna means you can see God. With these words I conclude the topic. Chapter 34, Bankim Chandra. Adhar, a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, lived in Shobha Bazar in the northern section of Calcutta. Almost every day after finishing his hard work at the office and returning home in the late afternoon, he paid Sri Ramakrishna a visit. From his home in Calcutta, he would go to Dakshineshwar in a hired carriage. His sole delight was to visit the Master. But he would hear very little of what Sri Ramakrishna said. For after saluting the Master and visiting the temples, he would lie down at the Master's request on a mat spread on the floor and would soon fall asleep. At 9 or 10 o'clock he would be awakened to return home. However, He considered himself blessed to be able to visit the God-man of Dakshineshwar. At others' request, Sri Ramakrishna often visited his home. His visits were occasions for religious festivals. Devotees in large numbers would assemble, and others would feed them sumptuously. One day, while Sri Ramakrishna was visiting his home, others said to him, "Sir, you haven't come to our house for a long time. The rooms seemed gloomy. They had a musty smell. But today, the whole house is cheerful. The sweetness of your presence fills the atmosphere. Today, I called on God earnestly. I even shed tears while praying." "Is that so?" the Master said tenderly, casting a kindly glance on his disciple. Sri Ramakrishna arrived at Adhar's house with his attendants. Everyone was in a joyous mood. Adhar had arranged a rich feast. Many strangers were present. At Adhar's invitation, several other deputy magistrates had come. They wanted to watch the Master and judge His Holiness. Among them was Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, perhaps the greatest literary figure of Bengal during the later part of the 19th century. He was one of the creators of modern Bengali literature and wrote on social and religious subjects. Bankim was a product of the contact of India with England. He gave modern interpretations of the Hindu scriptures and advocated drastic social reforms. Sri Ramakrishna had been talking happily with the devotees when Adhar introduced several of his personal friends to him. Adhar, introducing Bankim, said, "Sir, he is a great scholar and has written many books. He has come here to see you. His name is Bankim Babu." Master, smiling, said, "Bankim? Well, what has made you bent?" Literally, the word Bankim means bent or curved. Bankim smilingly said, "Why, sir? Boots are responsible for it. The kicks of our white masters have bent my body." Master said, "No, my dear sir. Sri Krishna was bent on account of his ecstatic love. His body was bent in 3 places owing to his love for Radha. That's how some people explain Sri Krishna's form. Do you know why he has a deep blue complexion? And why he is of such small stature? Only 3.5 cubits measured by his own hand. God looks so as long as he is seen from a distance. So the water of the ocean looks blue from afar. But if you go near the ocean and take the water in your hand, you will no longer find it blue. It will be very clear, transparent. So the sun appears small because it is very far away. If you go near it, you will no longer find it small. When one knows the true nature of God, he appears neither blue nor small, but there's a far-off vision. One doesn't see it except in samadhi. As long as I and you exist, name and form will also exist. Everything is God's Leela, His sportive pleasure. As long as a man is conscious of I and you, he will experience the manifestations of God through diverse forms. Let us stop here. Any questions? Anything to ask? Vedanta is one where it deals with the absolute reality. And Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of Vedanta teachings. Everything is Brahman, that is Vedanta. So, the whole creation is Brahman itself, that is Vedanta. And he practiced it, and then he said, all the religions of this world finally merge in Vedanta, that is, merge in the absolute reality. That's all. So Sri Ramakrishna, as a supreme Brahman incarnated, in order to integrate all the religions of the world, and formulated the concept of universal religion based on universal principles. So universal principles are given in the Upanishads. So Sri Ramakrishna came to authenticate the teachings of the Upanishads. He practiced Christianity because Christianity was a path. He practiced Islam, Islamic method was a path. So he practiced different faiths in Hinduism. Through all these paths, he came to know, he came to experience, he came to realize Brahman with attributes as well as Brahman without attributes. God with form and God without form. The Vedanta deals with this subject immensely. So that means the Vedanta was proved to the whole world. Look, in Vedanta, you come to the absolute reality. Whatever path you may be following, finally you come to Vedanta. In Vedanta you feel consummation, total fulfillment. There's no partial fulfillment, there's no partial realization in Vedanta. Vedanta means complete realization. Realizing the absolute reality is a complete realization. That's what the Vedanta proclaims. Anything else? We shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as just beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain in tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good be at all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.